we were
and then the environment was cleaned up.
The first time I was hearing about this stuff. Wow. It was totally new to me. With social impact consulting. The year 2022 is about to end. And I know you started the year thinking, I want to start my nonprofit. I have a passion for what I want to do to change the world. But time, life, responsibilities came into play. Well, the year is about to end without you having to miss your New Year's resolution of starting and running a sustainable nonprofit, social enterprise, or impact organization in Nigeria or around sub-Saharan Africa. My name is Effa Ellens Ede with Social Impact Consulting. We're a development consultancy firm that looks to maximize social impact. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on the bell notification so that you can be notified of my upcoming videos on how to start and run a nonprofit in 30 days. You're thinking, is it possible? Come on a ride with me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on the bell notification and I'll give you day-to-day tips on how to get going, to start your nonprofit and be on your way to maximizing social impact. I'll see you there.
Civil society represents the third sector, if you may, and it's inclusive of the media, NGOs, thought leaders, and people who just have a say in how a country, a people, or a place is run.
At the core of the work that we do is a strong belief that to really address educational inequity and inequality requires us really building a critical mass of dynamic, passionate, committed leaders who would dedicate themselves to addressing the different issues within the educational sector and the educational space.
Young people need to get into the government and then be able to push for each other faster. Because you can't keep staying out and then thinking that things will work in for your own good. So you need to be able to prepare yourself.
Society represents a community of engaged individuals who work with us to build consensus around progressive policy options and to give citizens a voice in governance.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome, 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 welcome. Those of you who are out there, please come on down, like and share this video. So it's just me today, and we're going to be talking about some of the Devsector series highlights we have had in the year 2022. And if you've missed some, you can go on and watch them. One of my favorite platforms of Devsector series, which is hashtag Devsector series or the development sector series, is YouTube. If you go on YouTube, just go hashtag Devsector series. All my videos since March 2021 are there. All the videos on the development sector series, the ones that streamed live, the ones that were pre-recordings, all of them are there. And you could just go ahead and watch. Social Impact Consulting is a development consultancy firm, and our goal is to maximize social impact. We do this through training, advisory, project support. We do some M&E work. We also work on organizational development to empower CSOs to maximize social impact. And we also do this through media and communications and storytelling. So we are able to even have conversations with development experts to talk about what they do and how they are able to make the world a better place. Why is that? Because a lot of times all we have to say about NGOs or civil society organizations is that they don't do anything. In fact, there's mixed messaging about civil society organizations. So we're trying. So social impact consulting is working to change that narrative, working to say, hey, we have some of the most brilliant people in the world who are doing their part to change the world, and it's worthy of commendation. So I just want to give you some of the highlights and kind of let you all know that we can't do this alone. We need your help, because a lot of these platforms, it's based on your engagement that we're able to share this with more people. So if you're on here, you're watching, please share, because the more people know about the role of the development sector and what they're doing to make Nigeria a better country or to make the world a better place, the better, so that there will be attitudinal change and there will be long-term impact. This time is a little different. I am on Instagram. So if you see me turning this way, just know that I'm reaching out to folks on Instagram. So those of you who are on Instagram, just introduce yourself, where you're from, and I will give you a shout out. Those of you who are on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, let me know where you're hailing from. I will give you a shout out, okay? This time it's just us talking, us having a conversation in terms of what we're doing with the development sector series, what social impact consulting is doing, and how we really need your support in terms of your engagement, okay? So now I'm just gonna talk about the development sector series just in the past year. Like, I think there was something somebody said that it's not when you go and you exercise. If you go to the gym and you exercise for 9 hours, you're not gonna get any outcome. Excuse the light. It will come down shortly. So bear with us, okay? So the thing about working in the sector is that you need to do what you need to do to maximize social impact. So please make sure that you let me know where you're watching from, and then we can take it from there. So excuse the beeping. The lighting will come relatively soon. Hi, Sunday Oladokun. You are here from Kano. Wow, Kano, Nigeria. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much. So Sunday Oladokun from LinkedIn. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, so we're going to be talking about various categories on with regards to the development sector series. So these are some of the people that we're able to interview on the development sector series on various categories. So one thing we did, because we're in the election cycle, we are interviewing civil society organizations and individuals that are known to that are pro-democracy, pro-good governance, pro-accountability, and we're having conversations with them about democracy. So we have elections. I had a conversation with Mr. Dayo Laide, who is the Deputy Director of the MacArthur Foundation. We talked about the civil society organizations and the elections. So go on Devsectorseries, hashtag Devsectorseries on YouTube. LinkedIn, when you go on the hashtag on LinkedIn, it's not very coordinated. It's just all you could see. A dev sector series from 2021, and then you can see a dev sector series from 3 months ago all the way down the feed. So it's not very coordinated on LinkedIn, but on YouTube, it's all there. You can go on you can do hashtag dev sector series on Facebook as well, and it's all there. Okay, so Dayo Laide, CSOs and elections. I have a few shorts. And those of you who are on YouTube, I usually cut them down and post them as IG Reels. So as you see them on IG Reels, you can watch the full Dev Sector series on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. Okay. So and then we had a conversation with Mbaseki Martin Obono. Okay. He talked about the civic space and elections in Nigeria, and we had a very substantive conversation in terms of addressing the civic space. And another interview that I had which was the 2022 Civic Space Outlook with Victoria Ibezimo-Hayeri, the Executive Director of Spaces for Change. Do me a favor. I want you to go on YouTube and go on Civic Space, the 2022 Civic Space Outlook, the actual interview that I had with Victoria. Victoria was just like a prophet. You get what I'm saying? In the Muslim faith, the Prophet Muhammad. In the Christian faith, there are other prophets that just speak the future. Okay, she just spoke the future in terms of attack on civil liberties, and trying to advise those of us who are activists, who are advocates, to really speak up. When we're speaking up, we need to make sure we have our facts. We make sure we have our proof of whatever allegations or whatever information that we're putting out there on social media. You don't just call somebody a name on social media. If you're calling them something, you better have something to prove, something credible, so that you can be protected in some shape, fashion, or form. So she talked about absorbing some of the shocks. She also talked about candidates who are running for elections, whether it be presidency, the governorship elections, that if you're going to put yourself out there and say you want to be elected, a lot of stuff is going to be dug up about you. People are gonna go digging. So you better be prepared for the information that's gonna come out. I mean, just watch it, because once you watch that Civic Space Outlook, she just lays it bare. So go on YouTube, go on 2022 Civic Space Outlook. You'll see all that. It's about 18 minutes. So just, if you're doing something in the office, you can listen to it while you're working, and it's really a good some good information. Then I had a conversation about 3 months ago with Yemi Adamolekun, who is the Executive Director of Enough is Enough Nigeria. And she talked about the hashtag Office of the Citizen in Nigeria. And she talked about how Enough is Enough started and how some people were fed up of what was going on. It started with the Occupy Nigeria protests, and then it kind of evolved to having conversations about the elections, registering people to vote, people protecting their vote, and then really just evolving to the Office of the Citizen in terms of holding people accountable, making sure that there's transparency and good governance. So she talked about that journey on transparency, good governance, and accountability. You can go on hashtag Devsectorseries and watch that program. It was really, really good. So another conversation I had as well, it was about the local government elections, because I remember Yaga Africa was working on some awareness on local government elections, that it's really important. If you want a pothole fixed on your street, you're not looking at President Buhari. Who's your local government chair? What is going on in your local government? So people need to be active in local governance. It's from there, the 774 local governments. So you have 774 people who are local government chairmen. Why are they not able to fix the roads? What is happening? How can we make sure that they get elected? And, of course, you have a big picture thinking with regards to local government autonomy in Nigeria, like the state government taking a lot of all the allocation for the local government, and there's not much money to do anything, and there's a lot of corruption. That's a whole different kettle of fish, but we need to start somewhere. So I had that conversation with Cynthia Mbamalu. Go on hashtag Devsectorseries is right there. And like I told you, with regards to the archives, the way YouTube sorted out the archives of the hashtag Devsectorseries, to me, is by far the best than all the other platforms, because each platform has their hashtag, but the YouTube hashtag, I believe, is the best one. It really, the chronology to me is the best. So if you're interested in the local government elections and what have you, go on hashtag Devsectorseries with Cynthia Mbamalu. Okay. So another one that was actually one of my favorite was when I had a conversation with the veteran journalist, Mr. Agbosuremi Ohiria. He's a veteran journalist. He was with AIT, and he's actually now the executive director of the Progressive Impact Organization of Community Development, Primorg. They're a really good organization, and so we had a conversation of how is democracy in Nigeria. You guys have to watch it. I see that Mayo Watafa just joined. Hi Mayowa, how you doing on Instagram? How you doing? So how you doing? So I'm actually streaming on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So just bear with me. If I'm not facing you, don't worry about it. I'm facing my webcam so that I can work on the other. So I'll be facing you every now and then. But Mayowa, I am talking about the highlights of the development sector series, Dev Sector Series, and our highlights for this year and what we're going to be doing next year. So again, thank you so much for joining us. The one with Abbas Remio Hiria and Mayo Watafa, just make sure you go on my YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/social impact consulting, and get on go on the search tab, hashtag Dev Sector Series. So some of these interviews that I had, you'll be able to kind of follow on those as well. So as I'm talking about it, hopefully you should be able to follow, and don't forget to subscribe. So that was really, he talked about the democracy in Nigeria. He talked about the elections in Nigeria. He talked about even the selection of candidates by the political parties. He went on this chronology, and it was really, really good. Another person that I skipped as well is Samson Itodo. He was happy. I also actually I transcribed his Dev Sector series, and it's on LinkedIn. So those of you who are on LinkedIn, go on my profile, FY Ede, and on my articles, you will see. So if you only want to take like a few minutes to read up on the transcribed version of his interview, that is also great as well. But if you want to watch it and you just want to listen as you're working in the office or working out or cooking or doing what have you, you can listen to it. It was a really good conversation about leadership, about the Electoral Act, about INEC, about the elections. It was a very substantive conversation. Okay. Now the next category of interviewees that I had with the development sector series is civil society and advocacy. Okay. I had a conversation with Chioma Agwebo. She on youth advocacy in Africa. That was a very good interview. She's the executive director of Tech Her NG, and she's also the convener of the state of emergency GBV. And she's just really phenomenal on social media. Okay, and actually, I found out was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Just 2 days ago, that she's one of the conveners of Enough is Enough, if I'm not mistaken. And she's the contributor to this book that I'm reading right now, Footprints. I'm actually this is my read for right now. Okay, so she's also a contributor for that book as well. So Chioma Agwebo, really good interview. I think I even repurposed it several times and I replayed it several times. Dev Sector Series, Chioma Agwebo, the executive director of Tech Her NG. Okay, there was another one of my first Dev Sector Series shorts that actually went over 1,000 views on Instagram Reels is actually with Husseini Abdu. He's the country director of Care International. It's a humanitarian organization. So we talked about humanitarian services in Nigeria, successes and challenges. And, what he's doing is quite different from what Care International is doing in other countries. They've been working on humanitarian interventions in Nigeria, especially with IDPs, for over 10 years. So this is quite different from what they normally do in other countries. In other countries, they go in and out. Okay, there's a disaster. Let's provide some disaster relief and let's get out. But in this case, it's been different because guess what? The problem with IDPs is still an issue. People are still displaced. There's still so many security challenges in the Northeast and other areas of Nigeria. So having a conversation, and then was when we said, okay, what's the difference between IDP and refugees? So he provided that. So those of you who are on Instagram, go on my reels. You'll see my short with Husseini Abdu. If you want to watch the full one, it's actually 2 videos because the network actually got cut short, and the network got cut short, and then we had to now replay it again. So it's actually 2 videos. So it's all there for you to watch. And then I had another conversation with Dr. Akinyele, who is Fumi Akinyele, who is the executive director of Food Basket Foundation International, addressing nutrition in Nigeria. Really good conversation. Talking up, the Food Basket Foundation has been in existence since the 80s. So, and they were even one of the conveners of the Civil Society Scaling Up Nutrition Nigeria, CSUN. So the founder of the Food Basket Foundation International, Dr. Akinyele, her father, actually, is actually a pioneer development practitioner working on nutrition. So watch that on Devsectorseries. Then another conversation, speaking of nutrition, I had a conversation with Michael Sumbola, who is the executive director of Lagos Food Bank Initiative. That organization is like, I just love that organization because it's just the model of what a humanitarian organization, an indigenous humanitarian organization should be. And they have a database of over 20,000 volunteers. They feed millions of people, and this happened because a visionary, which is Michael Sumbola, a successful lawyer in his own right, decided to do something bigger than himself, which is now where they are today. They fed millions of people. Hi, Tony Jelly World. How you doing? Let me wave at you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming. Okay. I'm just summarizing all the Devsectorseries highlights that we've had in 2022, so that we kind of just collect everything, and just appealing to you all that as we work to even make things better for you all and make it a better viewing experience for those of you who are watching, that we're able to even do more. So again, thank you so much for watching. Okay. So the next person I'm going to talk about is Nike Aherile de Souza. She is actually the founder of Teach for Nigeria. And Teach for Nigeria is an organization that I absolutely love. My encounter with Teach for Nigeria was initially with the CEO. That she is just phenomenal, and the organization is training education fellows that are making a difference in Nigeria, that are thinking about education, our future. So that, and I had a conversation about human capital in Nigeria, because how a country is going to do well is their human capital. Is the country going to be successful based on their human capital? Okay. And so the title was Harnessing Human Capital in Nigeria. So those are some of the categories. I had a couple of more people that I interviewed as well. So those, I know I missed a couple, but in 2022, sometimes you're surprised at how many people you've had conversations with. And those of you on LinkedIn, if you know of anybody that wants to get on Devsectorseries, just send me a message. I think I even had a conversation with a few people that I got from LinkedIn, and I want to really harness, because I think I have over 17,000, over 13,000 followers on LinkedIn at the moment, and over 13,000 followers on LinkedIn at the moment. So I want a situation where there are people there that I would even want to have further conversations with on Devsectorseries. And Devsectorseries, what I want to have conversations about is, what are people doing to change the world? That's what my platform is about. What are you doing to make things better for society? So so it's not just about, oh, this is what your platform is about, this is who you are, you're popular here and there, but what are you doing to make a change in the world? How are you making our sector better? In terms of the third sector, what are you doing? So that is where my interest is. So if you fit the bill and you're doing great work in sub-Saharan Africa, in Nigeria, give me a shout out, and we can have a conversation in 2023. The next category of people who I have had a conversation with was, Leap Africa turned 20. So I actually was recording a documentary with Femi Taiwo. I know he's transitioning from Leap Africa at the moment, but at the time he was the executive director of Leap Africa, and they have a social innovators program. And this program actually provides support to social innovators, social entrepreneurs that are doing great work. And they had a pool of alumni that I could have conversations with on Devsectorseries. So it wasn't just, the older generation of people who are on Devsectorseries, but or who are doing work, but actually the newer generation. I see I am Jimmy. Thank you so much for coming. I am Jimmy. This is on Instagram. So now I had a conversation with a couple of people. Babajide Oluwase, founder of Ekotutu. He was actually one of my personal favorites. He's a young man who started an organization that provides sustainable solutions for agriculture, especially for perishable foods. Movable cooling facilities that are powered by solar. So just really, really good innovation. You need to watch his video, because I asked him a specific question about the agric value chain, and he gave me a very substantive answer, and very simplified answer. You want to know about that? It is on IG Reels, and it is on Devsectorseries. You gotta watch it, okay? Then Mohammed Kiena, he is the team lead of Amajiri Child Rights Initiative. He actually had I really didn't know much about the Amajiri, what the Amajiri was about in Nigeria. And he was able to really educate me and educate the public on the Amajiri, the state of the Amajiri movement, and talking about how they even came to be, what they're doing now in northern Nigeria, and what his recommended solutions are and what his organization is doing. Really great piece. Another one is Help Mom, Dr. Abiodun Adereni. He really, I knew that there was maternal mortality rate, but he really provided a lot of information about that. Okay, my last category is organizational development and monitoring and evaluation. I had a conversation with Thank God Okosum on organizational development solutions. Now, I had 2 interviews with Thank God Okosum. Because we were having an organizational development summit, which was powered by USAID's Strengthening Civic Advocacy and Local Engagement. So that's SCALE. So he is the organizational development specialist advisor of the team. And he just broke down organizational development. He talked, okay, what do you need for a successful organization? He pretty much broke a seminar down into like 30 minutes. So you need to watch that. It was really, really good. It was actually very, very well viewed, right? Then the other one is Chidi Coldsweat. Chidi Coldsweat is also an organizational development specialist. She's also a teacher. She's a speaker. She's a reacher. She's a connector. She's a networker. Awesome, awesome, awesome lady. I just spoke to her a couple of weeks ago. She's a founder and CEO of Donors for Africa. Go on IG Reels. I have a whole bunch. She had so many punchlines. You need to go there and watch some of those, or you can go on #Devsectorseries and watch the full video. I also had a conversation with Joe Bennett, the CEO of Tola Data. I actually met her through LinkedIn. So if you want to have a conversation about what you do and you're on LinkedIn, send me a message, and we can pencil you in 2023. Okay, if everything fits. So I had a conversation with her as well. And then one of my highlights, my crowning glory, drum roll, was with Aisha Yusufu. She is an activist. She's an advocate. She's a human rights advocate. She's an entrepreneur, and she's just a she yes, she has a candidate she's supporting, but she has been a human rights advocate, and she has been an advocate for democracy for years before this election. So it was just awesome to have a conversation with her. Okay, now if are from any other political party, you feel and you're running for office, and you want to share what you're going to do to serve your nation, you can holler at me, and then we can have a conversation about what you want to do for Nigeria. Okay, so that is on Devsectorseries. I mean, I have said a mouthful on Devsectorseries. So, sometimes consistency is where it's at, not just, you can't go to a gym and then work out for 9 hours and expect a change. But when you're just consistent with it, then that's the difference. So with regards to content creation, I have I've produced some pieces of content. One of them is the 2022 Civic Space Outlook. It is a civic space resource hub video powered by Spaces for Change, the West African Civil Society Institute. They are now in Abuja. They have an office in Ghana. They have moved to Abuja this year. Yay! So they are in Abuja. And then the Ford Foundation. So the documentary itself, really good one, produced by yours truly. If you want to watch it, go on Spaces, go on YouTube and search for Spaces for Change. You will see, or just search Civic Space. You would see the documentary on the 2022 Civic Space Outlook. It's right there. By the time you watch it, you'll be like, oh my God, this is exactly what is happening right now in 2022. You would just be like, it would be like deja vu. So you need to watch that documentary, okay? So now what I want to actually talk about now is another 7-episode documentary that I produced. It is called it is called Untold Impact, the Role of Civil Society in Development. Let me just say a quick story. I was having a conversation with a colleague, and I said, I don't think citizens know that if without civil society, Nigeria will be a complete failed state. Right now people are saying, yeah, Nigeria is a failed state, but not completely. And the only thing, the last frontier in making Nigeria what it is today is the civil society organizations. If the federal government wants to go all the way left and not do what they're supposed to do, you have civil society organizations that would rise up and say, no, you can't do that. No, this is not supposed to. You have organizations like Seraph that will say, no, we're going to sue you. And I know a lot of people say, they keep suing. Yeah, let them keep suing and putting pressure on the government, so that the government actually is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, okay? So I was like, I don't think people know about what civil society organizations do. That's the general public, which is what birthed the idea of, initially the title. If you look at my journey of production, I've been saying I'm working on a documentary on the role of civil society in national development. Then it began to just evolve as we were developing the content, and then it now became the role of civil society in national development. Then it went into the role of civil society in development. So it's called Untold Impact. It's coming soon, okay? And we are going to be eventually having a pre-screening of the documentary, and more information about the documentary coming soon. And one thing that the documentary is an advocacy tool to talk to the 10th Assembly, to talk to the incoming president, to let him know that we need to involve civil society on the front end. We're not just going to be reacting to policies. We need to be at the table while you're developing the policies, so that we can all, work together in implementation. So that is what we're communicating to people who want to run for office. Because right now, those who want to run for office will talk to everybody and their mama, but once they enter into office, they are inaccessible. So now that they're accessible to us, they need to know that civil society needs to be a part of the conversation in terms of turning the tide of where Nigeria needs to be. Okay, we've come far. We came out of military dictatorship. We are in democracy, and now we need to have a better democracy. And with all of your help, this can happen. Okay. Finally. So lately I've been working on, some content on how to start your NGO or your nonprofit in 30 days. I think I really over like I didn't really understand the magnitude of the amount of work that I was putting myself on in terms of posting every day. Because with this kind of content, you have to do your research, you have to then create the script, you now have to shoot, you now have to edit, you now have to make sure it's SEO ready, and then you now have to post, and you now have to market. It's a lot of work. And I don't mind doing the work because it's what I signed up for, it's what I said I will do. What I will be doing, I will post all 30 videos. It's just not going to be every day as I initially planned, but you will get the content because it's really cool content. It will help you to build a nonprofit that will outlive you, and that you will be proud of, and your beneficiaries and stakeholders will thank you for. Okay, so that is that is the final thing. And then also my website is going to be up. I think I posted a couple of times that I initially had a website, socialimpact.ng, which was hacked. And once it was hacked, I even have a strike on YouTube because I put a link to that website and it looked like it was a dangerous website, and YouTube gave me a strike. But actually, my page was actually hacked. So, I don't know who I'm going to have that conversation with. But in 2023, my plan for 2023 is partnering up with a studio on Devsectorseries. So we're gonna really have I really want to take the quality of the content to another level. And then because when people come in, those are my colleagues who are coming in from other parts of town, and they want to do an interview, we want to make it a conducive environment where some of it is in person. In addition to that, we're going to be repurposing some of the content into a podcast. So those of you who don't have time to be sitting and watching the video, it will be repurposed to a podcast. So what I need, and this is the call to action to everyone, is I need your help. In order for us to maximize social impact and letting people understand the importance of civil society and the importance of changing the world, is for you all to share it and for you all to engage with me. So if you have any ideas on how to make this better for you, to better digestible for you as the audience, or what kind of content you would like from me in 2023, you can put that in the comment section, because I want you to stay watching and I want you to forward it to other people so that the entire public knows about civil society and what they do, because I want a situation where as development professionals, we don't do all this good work and then communicate to ourselves. We need to communicate with the public. Some of us have been successful at it, but a lot of us are still struggling in terms of communicating, really the effect and the impact of our work, so that there's a seismic shift on how impact is measured and how impact is felt. So um, let me know what you think. For those of you who are on LinkedIn, if you have anybody you recommend that I interview on Dev Sector Series on LinkedIn, just send me a message on LinkedIn. I'm pretty responsive on LinkedIn, except you're just somebody sharing me a LinkedIn ad. I don't even read it, or somebody who sends me a message and really doesn't, if you want to talk to me or whatever, I'm not saying you should know everything about me, but just do your research a little bit. I have a pretty good digital footprint, so do your research. So it's not like, are you spamming me or what? So those are some of the things that I would really appeal to you. So those of you on LinkedIn, you think you would be a good person to be interviewed, or you have somebody that you want to recommend, please be my guest. Okay. Again, those of you on YouTube, please like and subscribe, and then also let me know, what kind of content you want, because those of you who have subscribed, I want a lot of you to watch my videos, okay? Which will be great. All right. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this live streaming on social impact consulting, what we're doing, the development sector series highlights, so that I can refer to you guys to watch some of those podcasts, those video podcasts, and let me know what your thoughts are, and we can continue the conversation. Again, thank you so much for watching. Happy holidays, and let's change the world together. Take care.